welcome back finally to another comic book flick through. This week we have got 5 new pickups that I picked up today. Not today. I'm filming this on Wednesday. I'm filming this yesterday. It's going to be out tomorrow, which is today. If you're even watching it on, forget it. I picked these up today. They are new this week. That's a good start. Right, anyway, we have got the start of a couple of new storylines. We've got the end of one that we've been following on, in these videos. Not that there's been one for a couple of weeks. Firstly, let's apologise for doing that. These videos will be returning weekly as of now. So yes, I'm going to try and keep this under the half hour as usual, which should do. Yep, gonna be bagging and boarding these new things as well. So let's just start straight off with the first issue in the brand new Darth Vader comic, which is set right at the end of Revenge of the Sith. This is a series I've been looking forward to picking up for quite a few months, probably since I started doing these videos. Really, I knew this was coming, and yeah, was looking forward to it. I was questioning whether or not to get the variant cover or not. This isn't the variant. The variant was like, obviously at the end of Revenge of the Sith, you see the helmet go on to Anakin's face. The variant was basically an artist's rendering of that moment rather than this nice lightsaber. But yeah, let's just give this a quick flick through. You get a big thing there. Big title card. Yeah, I mean, the art's pretty nice as well. Who is the artist? Let's see who the artist is. Who is the artist? What is his name? Where is the artist's name? This is the kind of nonsense we end up doing on the comic book flick through. We are in fact flicking through the comic book, so that's at least something. The artist, Giuseppe Camuncoli. Is that how you pronounce his name? That's the penciler anyway. Him. Written by Charles Soule, who also does the Daredevil and the current run of Darth Maul as well. Does he do something else that I pick up? I don't know, I think he just does those that I pick up actually. But yeah, I mean, there's some pretty nice big panels in this. I mean, look at that. That is Palpatine using everyone's favourite Force Lightning on Vader right at the start. Right as soon as he's got his armour on, just because Palpatine's just that harsh. You get Massa Meda giving some sort of rally on Coruscant, burning all the Jedi's lightsabers. That's nice. You get this sort of thing in this issue. It's basically Palpatine sends Vader to a mid-rim planet in order to find. He needs to create obviously the red lightsaber. So this is basically what this issue is. It's Palpatine sending a brand new day-old Darth Vader to do that. And you get like really cool panels. Like I really like these here. You get that coming on, looking, and then you get through Vader's eyes, changing colours. I don't know why it changes colours, but then you get this, and then just this nice little piece of just Vader in the distance, walking away with the big cape flowing behind him. Let me just show you another nice big sort of splash page. I won't show you the final page because I never like to do that. That's a pretty nice one though, to be fair. Maybe there's a nice one at the start actually, right at the start. Obviously everybody knows these kinds of things. It's basically this this comics version of the infamous screaming of no right at the end of Avengers. You get that double page, which is considerably better than its film counterpart. Well done, Charles Soule. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm gonna be picking up the rest of this series because it's Vader, and everybody loves Darth Vader. I don't know actually if it's sort of like a limited 5-issue series or not, because quite a lot of the Star Wars things are. I would expect it to be, in order to not sort of interfere with any other canon. Yeah, I would expect it to just be left as a 5-issuer. But yeah, you know, check that out. It's a nice little start. You get a good deal of sort of how harsh Palpatine is to Vader right at the start, because obviously he wants him to fully transform into the Sith we all know he becomes. So yes, let's put this in the bag and move on to the next book, which also happens to be written by Charles Soule. Like I said before, he also is currently writing Daredevil, and the purple storyline of Daredevil came to an end recently. I can't even remember if we covered that in one of the videos. We probably didn't, to be honest. Probably one of the weeks we missed, but there, anyway. Nicely bagged and boarded. Darth Vader, #1, brand new. Yes, Daredevil, issue 21. Part 1 of what's this story? Supreme, this storyline's called. And this is because everybody now again doesn't know that Matt Murdock is Daredevil, thanks to what the Purple Children did in the finale of the Purple storyline in issue 20. This is sort of a more standard Daredevil type deal. Matt Murdock has a plan to eradicate crime in the city. Luke Cage is involved. There's a nice panel of Luke there. There's a nice panel of Daredevil actually. They're also working with a hero called Echo, who mimics other people's movements. Daredevil gets her to fight for him, so he doesn't have to fight himself, but you know, he's performing all the moves, she's just carrying them out. It's kind of cool, really. But yeah, this felt like a nice start of a storyline, really, because I'm certainly sort of interested to see what, because Matt Murdock's always up to things, and you know, being in court a lot as well, he always ends up doing interesting things as both Matt and Daredevil. I'm just a big fan of Daredevil, really, and this felt like a really nice just start of a new Daredevil story. Again, Charles Soule, decent writer, very good writer. I think this has got a new artist actually. Goran Sudzuka. S-U-D-Z with a little thing over it. U-K-A. So I'm just gonna call him Goran. Well done, Goran. You're a good artist as well. Some really nice art in here actually. I really kind of like the style. Let's find another little, another bit of a splash page. No, let's not find a bit of a splash page because that would be showing you the final page, and you know we don't like to do that. But I would highly recommend reading current Daredevil, if you are of course a Daredevil fan, because it is good stuff, and it's got a bit, at least for me, it's got a bit of sort of extra stuff in there that, because I'm not necessarily an expert on anything when it comes to this, so it's got, you know, a bit of stuff in there that I'm learning as well, which is always fun. That is always fun. So yes, let's keep trucking along with this. We're not going to spend too much time on each book today, purely because I want to keep it under half hour. I still want to, you know, keep it relatively chilled out and casual, as I always do, or as I always try to at least. But we're not going to be spending 10 minutes talking about everything. I'm not going to be giving... I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the comics knowledge to give full reviews necessarily on these things. I just show you what I've picked up this week and let you know what, in basic terms, what I think of it, whether it looks cool, and whether I think you should be picking it up, reading it, doing whatever. So yes, there we are. Daredevil 21, nicely bagged and boarded. I was thinking about picking up the variant of this as well, but then I realised that this cover's really nice and was actually nicer than the variant. That's kind of where I go with that. I just pick up if there's a variant available, it won't, you know, stop me picking up the direct cover. Is that what you call them? You know, the normal cover. Just because there's a variant, I will always pick up the one that I just think looks nicer. Next up, sticking with Marvel and Jessica Jones. Everybody knows by now how much I love Jessica Jones. Or, you know, maybe you don't. Maybe if this is the first thing you're ever watching on this channel, you don't know how much I love Jessica Jones. So I'm going to tell you again. I love Jessica Jones, and I love Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Gaydos's art. It's so nice. And this is a continuation of a storyline that started in the... Did it start in the last... I don't know, because it's sort of one big story. They don't have, like, you know, titled stories. Or this Jessica Jones run doesn't have sort of titled stories, but at the minute, she's getting involved with Maria Hill of S.H.I.E.L.D. And in this one, because I always love seeing her interact with Luke Cage, her husband. I always love that, and there are always just conversations, and I don't know how Michael Gaydos can draw normal conversations as well as he does. I mean, it's a pretty steamy shower double page for those interested in that kind of thing. Yeah, I love Jessica and Luke's relationship. I really do. And I love Jessica Jones as a character. And as always, this one, ends with intrigue into the next issue. Again, it's very similarly to Daredevil, as a character at least, anyway. Jessica always is up to something. She's always up to something. When not necessarily in a large-scale cosmic villain type sense, which is why I don't tend to pick up those types of comics, aside from Justice League stuff and that. Because I do like, when it comes to Marvel comics, I do like a more grounded character like a Daredevil, like a Jessica Jones, that just goes about, their business. And it's just more intriguing to me, the sort of littler stories. The more personal stories. So yeah, this one, like I said, ends making you want to pick up issue 10. And I cannot say enough praise for Brian Michael Bendis when it comes to Jessica Jones, and Michael Gaydos, of course, and Matt Hollingsworth, because they are some of my favourite comics, all the way back to, the big 4 volumes of the original Alias run. I absolutely love them. I cannot sing their praises enough, seriously. Read Jessica Jones. It's so much. It is just so... It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. So, again, swiftly, let's move on. And put it in the bag. See, I'm getting much better at bagging and boarding these things quicker now. I am still, and I will say this every single episode, I'm still very much an amateur when it comes to comic books. But that is kind of why I do want to, that is why I wanted to sort of start doing these type of videos, because the type of comic book videos you are getting may be by people who know a lot about it, and you might like that. But I don't know. Maybe you like listening to someone who doesn't know what they're talking about discover new things within comic books, which is what I'm doing, having, recently, in the last few months, got into buying comics. I learned things about them, in the weeks that I picked them up, and that hopefully that works for those watching. Or maybe you just think I'm strange and that's why you're watching. But yes, as always, beautiful, beautiful cover. Jessica Jones number 9. Moving on to DC. We cannot forget about the wonders of DC Comics. Especially with Wonder Woman being released last weekend and being so goddamn good that everybody cried multiple times, or at least I, multiple times. And fortunately enough, Wonder Woman happens to be featured quite heavily on the cover of Justice League number 22, Infestation. This is just a one-off issue. This isn't any part of any sort of bigger storyline. This is written by Shea Fontana, and the artist is Philippe Briones. Why do I never know how to pronounce these people's names? I'm so... I'm disappointed in myself. that I just never know how to pronounce these people's names. But yes, this issue is entirely set on the Justice League Watchtower up in space. It is it's a sort of Jessica Cruz, who is one of the Green Lanterns. It's sort of this one's sort of focused on her more than the rest of the Justice League, and you know what she feels. She's feeling like an amateur compared to the likes of Wonder Woman and Batman and everyone. But yeah, it's kind of nice. It's a very nice one-off story. And basically the Watchtower becomes infested with a load of weird bugs. Weird blue things. There you go. You know, like this. I mean, and then that thing infests the Justice League Watchtower. And everybody tries to get rid of it. Lois Lane is involved in this issue as well. She's doing a story on the Watchtower. And, yeah. I don't know really what else to say. It's a fun little issue. I do like reading Justice League stuff, because I like all the characters, and it's fun to get a bit wacky sometimes. I think, at least from what I am familiar with, when DC comics are on a sort of bigger, cosmic-y, weird scale, I prefer that to when Marvel go on a weird, cosmic-y, whatever. I keep saying the word cosmic-y, which isn't a word. But yeah, I don't know, in DC's world it just makes more sense to me, because, you know, DC as a universe is more fictional than Marvel's. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's a nice, I was going to say episode then. I don't mean episode, I mean issue. Yeah, you get a bit of Wonder Woman training with the Green Lanterns. Always fun to read. Always quick, fast-paced to read. Easy to read. Fun to read, ultimately, which is the most important thing. Yes, there you go. Justice League, issue 22. 1,000 Little Things, or Justice League Infestation, or whatever this one is actually supposed to be called. Written by Shea Fontana. Looking at the time of this episode now, I think we'll do okay to keep under the half hour. We have got one more book to talk about, and it is the final issue in a 3-issue limited series that we have been picking up since the start of me doing these videos, I believe. There you go. Anyway, Justice League 22. It fell off, sorry. But yes, this is issue 3 of 3 of Jon Schnepp's Slayer Repentless for Dark Horse comic. I love Jon Schnepp as a human being. He's wonderfully weird and just great, and I've been supporting his incredibly violent and very Schnepp-like comic book since its first issue was released. And make no mistake, this final issue of 3 is the most violent of all 3 of these incredibly violent issues. I mean, look at that. I mean, this is the artist. This is Villanova, the artist. It is like I've thought. I've thought the art was great in this all throughout, and you know, Schnepp brings a lot of Schneppisms. Brings a lot of flavour. You'd like me to say? He brings a lot of flavour to proceedings in this series. I'm sure it'll be out in a trade soon enough. Yeah, like I said, Dark Horse Comics. This is the final big battle between between two brothers, one a neo-Nazi and the other who is, you know, sort of the hero of this whole thing, who has defected from the neo-Nazis, and his brother is after him and has been after him and has done despicable things to him for the two previous issues of Slayer Repentless, including killing his girlfriend. And this is basically the big violent final battle between the two, you know, between the one brother's neo-Nazi gang and the other's sort of gang who are obviously going to help him defeat his evil brother. And it's, you know, like I say in these things, I'm no expert when it comes to the band Slayer, which is what these things are based off. But I can only imagine that Schnepp does this trilogy of music videos, which is what this is based on. I can only imagine Schnepp does that justice. Yeah, if you like Jon Schnepp, I'm pretty sure you'll have fun reading this. It's a very quick read. There's not a lot of sort of long dialogue scenes like there is in something like Jessica Jones. It's a lot of action, it's a lot of violence, it's a lot of gore, and it's very entertaining if you like that stuff. And if you like Schnepp, support Schnepp, because Schnepp's great. Well done, Schnepp. And that is yes, that is the final book we're going to be talking about today, as we come up to the half-hour mark. I think we've done well for time. So yeah, there we have Slayer Repentless, the final issue, number 3 of 3, and that is going to do it for this video, this comic book flick through, that is finally back on this channel after what seems like about 3 weeks, which is ridiculous. But yes, look out for these every week now. I know we've got a big summer of comics, at least in the next, you know, couple of months. I know. Anyway, and there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I want to pick up that I've seen advertised, and you know, that sort of stuff. I'm looking forward to it. So you will get a new comic book flick through every single Thursday. Yes. But as well as that, you can also check out the latest episode of HorrorHouse that went up it went up on Monday, last Monday. It should have been up on Sunday. So again, I feel like I have to apologise for that, but let's call it weekend. Last weekend there was a new episode of HorrorHouse, episode 25, where I say we, it was just me, where I recapped the 666 Horror Festival right here in Manchester, and read a bit of Edgar Allan Poe as well. Nice casual episode of Horror House. That was. You can of course find that on this channel where you're watching this right now, or on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or whatever it's called, as well as things you can also get on Android, and you'll find it. Search Horror House Podcast, you'll find it. Yeah. What else should I say? There's a couple of look out for a couple of really, really cool episodes of both Horror House and the Enlightenment Hour in the next few weeks. I'm looking forward to some of the stuff that I'm going to have coming out. It's a lot of fun. Yes, but as always, you can follow me on Twitter at the PurpleDon, and sub to this YouTube channel for all of this weird stuff that I've got going on. If you're of course interested in it. If you're not interested in it, that's fine. That's fine. But if you did like it, please give this video a share around, and comment on what you like, what I should be picking up. If you're interested in anything I talk about in these videos, please let me know that. And while we have now gone over the half-hour mark because of my nonsense rambling at the end of every video of these and every episode of any podcast, it seems, I'm gonna close it out now. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.